What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Sergeant Moose here, back with another Evil Dead the Game video. And today, guys, I want to do an updated tier list for survivors. Now, we do this pretty often here on the channel, guys, as the meta and the balance kind of changes in the game. So I want to kind of make an updated list based on what I've been seeing in terms of survivors. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Alright guys, so with this list, we're going to move kind of swiftly because I don't want to make this like a 25 or 30 minute long video. I want you guys to actually see where the survivors stand. So let's go ahead and start off here with Leader Ash, guys. He's a jack of all trades. He can do it all. He performs better in certain areas where all other characters just do not. Obviously, he has his El Jefe El Grande. It provides fear resistance and provides damage output for the teammates, especially when he's getting finishers. He's a jack of all trades. He can do range damage. He can do melee damage. He can dodge. He has health. He has all that good stuff. He has that good leader buff that we got with all the leaders. That's why we're putting El Jefe in high A tier. Moving on over to Annie Nobby, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody knows about Annie Nobby. Every demon hates Annie Nobby. Every survivor loves Annie Nobby. Annie Nobby currently is the best survivor in this game right now. It's not debatable. Her balance bar with the book meta, she has some good balance bar teammates with her, are going to destroy the demon almost each and every single time. She has good range damage. Obviously, she has the recent leader buff. She's good with stamina, health. She has damage output. She provides range damage for her hunters. She turns into a hunter herself with the activation of her ability. She provides 15% balance bar to basic, elite possessed enemies, 60% balance bar damage to bosses. She's probably going to be nerfed very, very soon. Annie is as high of an S tier character as you can get. She is the best character in this game right now, ladies and gentlemen. Next, we're moving on to Lord Arthur. Arthur got the love he needed. He is my favorite character in the franchise. As you can see, we have the Prestige 5 on him right now. Arthur is a very solid leader. He's a pain in the ass for demons. He provides a ton of damage output for the warriors. With his Lord's Wrath, he can keep it going with finishers. We all know how Lord Arthur works. He's amazing with the sword. Best in the game. When you use a sword with Arthur, you don't want to use it on any other character. He can dodge, he can move around, he has health, he has a little bit of range damage he can do. He's an all-around solid character. We're going to go A tier with Lord Arthur. Next, we're coming down to AOD Ash, ladies and gentlemen. He is a new person's delight, a new player's delight in this game. He's an awesome warrior. Obviously, we know he has his potion, which basically increases everything across the board. It gives him health, it gives him defense, it gives him damage output, stamina, speed. He has it all. He has a ton of damage output. He is a chainsaw mastery. I run a one-handed build with him. He can do a ton of damage. He's a character that every team would want if they're going to go a warrior. So also, A tier, we're going to go AOD Ash. Now, this is one I wanted to talk about, guys. As you can see over there, guys, I have a Prestige 5 Mia. Do I think Mia is the best warrior in this game? I absolutely do not. You're looking at him right here. His name's Scotty. In my opinion, he's the best warrior in this game right now with the current meta. And the reason being is because of his AoE damage with his Lumberjack Axe, or any heavy weapon for that matter. And he also has his ability, his Thunder Thrust, which can blow enemies back, knock them back. It's great at the book. It's great on objectives. He can save you the book. You pair him with an Annie and a couple other good characters. You're in good shape. Get a Lumberjack Axe in his hands. Not too much to be said there. He is a little bit squishy. You got to be careful with him. But if you know how to use him, you're going to do a ton of damage. And he's one of the highest damage output warriors in this game. And he will win some games for you. Scotty's going to go S tier as the best warrior in my opinion right now. Let's move on to Henry the Red, the Duke of Shale. Old Thunderloins. He is one of my favorite characters in this game, guys. He's been solid from day one. He still is very solid. He can be an absolute pain in the ass for demons, especially with his ability. He can extend a match by 10 or 15 minutes that should have been won a long time ago from the demon. He can turn that bad boy around. He can win some games. He is the most clutch character in this game by far. He's a guy you want on your team to run around and save in them crucial situations. He can do mad balance bar damage. He is a warrior. He has a ton of defense, great shields, all-around solid character. We're going to go A tier with Henry as well. Not exactly the best survivor in this game, but he can be great, very solid, good on the book with balance bar. Not much more to be said about old Henry the Red. Next, we're going to move on to Mia Allen, guys. As you can see here, she's a P5. This is my baby girl, my favorite survivor in this game. She's my main. I don't care what anybody says. I love her. She has the potential to be the best damage output warrior in this game. Yes, even higher than Scotty. I'll debate anyone on that any day. I've had numerous games, almost 200,000 damage with her several times. Depends on the weapon you get with her. However, I don't think she's the best warrior in this game. As a matter of fact, I think she's the worst warrior in this game. And it depends on skill with her, because you have to be very careful with her fear. You want it high, but at the same time, you don't want it high enough to where you can't manage it, because you're gonna kill your whole team. So, with Mia's bleed damage, she can do awesome bleed damage targets. But the thing that differentiates her from Scotty is she's more focused on single target damage, as opposed to Scotty's more focused on AoE, which in the long run, Scotty's better on the book than Mia is. So that's why I put Scotty up a higher tier than Mia. However, I would put Mia in terms of damage up with Scotty any day of the week. We're going to put Mia in B tier as a warrior. Now, if you're really good with warriors, really good with Scotty's and Mia's, she's going to be the best warrior. She's going to be one of the best with Scotty. But if you're not good at managing your fear, and you're not good at staying alive, she's going to be the absolute worst warrior, and she's going to be a shit show for you to use. So, moving on down to Hunter Ash. Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at the best hunter in this game right now. And I'm not talking about damage with him. I'm talking about his abilities, his exorcism ability. Obviously, not too much to be said about that. One of the best abilities in this game. It can ruin a demon's day. They have a plan for you. They bring in a basic. They think they catch you off guard or one of your teammates. Boom. You smack them in the face. Talk to the hand. You're gone. You got to go get some energy and come on back. So, Hunter Ash, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to put him up in S tier. His ability to find chests, his ability to do damage, his exorcism ability. He is an absolute unit in this game, and one hunter that I love using. Next, we're going to talk about old Ed Getley, ladies and gentlemen. Old Ed Sweatley. Still one of the best survivors in this game, in my opinion. You don't have to do anything with Ed. You don't have to be good with him. You just have to exist. You just have to be in the match. Load into the match, and boom. Your teammates are going to have amazing weapons, pink Fs. They're going to be ready for the demon, and the demon's going to hate it. Ed Sweatley, ladies and gentlemen, comes in at A tier as far as hunters. He can do a ton of damage. Of course, you know he has the crossbow mastery. If you're good with crossbows, go for it with Ed. I suck with them, so I use other guns, but he does have the collector's ability, which is amazing. He also can disable traps, which is another amazing ability that he can do on objectives. Things like that. He can take out any form of demon trap, again, ruining demons' plans. So we're going to put Ed Getley at A tier. Next, we're moving on to old Kelly. One of my favorite characters in the franchise. Again, guys, she did get a recent buff. I feel like she still needs a little bit more love, but she's still a very solid hunter, in my opinion, in terms of damage. Probably one of the best damage outputting hunters. She does have the melee hybrid, of course, with the meat hammer. She has the counter shot, the slip shot, so if you can dodge and shoot and dodge and shoot and hit your targets, you're going to do a ton of damage and a ton of bleed damage with Kelly. And not to mention, you get that meat hammer in your hands, you can go ham and ape shit. They did Dana De Lorenzo very, very well in this game. I love her. I love her voice lines. Kelly's so fun to use. I haven't seen many of them being used before the update, but now I'm seeing a lot more. Good buddy of mine, Akmon, he mains Kelly, and he's very, very good with her, which is why we're also going to go ahead and we're going to put Kelly in B tier as a hunter. Next, we're going to move on to Amanda. Now, Amanda, very similar to Kelly. She doesn't offer a whole lot for the team, but she does do a lot herself. Obviously, she has the bottomless clip, ammo for days. Pretty much put a gun in her hands, pop that ability. You're going to shoot for a total of 7 seconds without having to reload. Not a whole lot to say about that. On bosses, she's an absolute monster with bosses, or any possessed unit. In that case, she's probably the best in the game at taking those guys down. So she's an absolute beast on the book, a unit on the book, especially when it comes to bosses. You get that Henrietta popped out with the gas, The Warriors can't hit her. You got Amanda in the background with her ammo for days, just plugging her in the fucking face. So with that said, guys, Amanda, we're going to put also at B tier with Kelly. I think those two are the best for damage in terms of hunter. You can't go wrong with any of these 4 hunters, guys. But if you're facing a good demon and you want to be helpful to your team, I'm going to go Hunter Ash or Ed above the other 2. But let's move on to the great debate, ladies and gentlemen. The supports. We're going to talk about support Ash. We're going to talk about Cheryl. There's been a debate. Who is the better support? And I have the answer for you. And that answer is neither. They're both very, very good. Very solid. I can't choose between the two. Honestly, I use Cheryl more than support Ash. However, guess what? They're both going in S tier because they are both the best supports in this game. And on any meta, any team comp, you want one of the two. Now, support Ash, where he shines, he has more healing capabilities than Cheryl does. And what I mean by that, obviously, with the range headshots, are going to get you and your teammates' health back. The heavy hits with his weapons, the better the rarity of the weapon, the more damage the weapon's doing, the more healing for your team you're going to get with him. Now, he only can carry 6 shemps as opposed to Cheryl's 8, but the thing is Ash doesn't need as many shemps as Cheryl does if he's used right. So with that said, guys, in battle, Ash can be your little mini warrior, as I like to call him, and he can output a little bit of damage, but he can also heal your team in the process. So we're going to go ahead and put support Ash in S tier. Now let's talk about Cheryl a little bit, guys. Now where I think she shines a little bit more than support Ash is because of the fact she can carry 8 shemps as opposed to 6. She can carry the most of any other support in the game. She also has the ability to heal with the shemps plus 100 more health to the other survivors, and if you prestige 5 her, she has the ability to do 125. I think it's prestige 5 if I'm not mistaken. Right? Oh no, it's prestige 1. Okay, so we already have it. So it's prestige 1. You can get that extra 125. Now where that comes into play, guys, in my opinion, I think is with warriors. It's very difficult to heal warriors, especially the more tanky ones, to get their health restored back. Cheryl is outright the best support to do that when it's needed. Not to mention, she has her ability on the fly, so she doesn't have to waste the shemps. You know, at the end of objectives, you know, everybody's hurt. She doesn't have to take a shemp. She can throw that bad boy in the chest. Everybody gets healed. And it's a good day. Good to go. Cheryl doesn't have to do much but kind of hang out in the background and just keep fucking chugging them shemps, dude, and you're good to go. Cheryl is the one survivor that'll work on any team comp in this game against any demon. So, obviously, S tier for Cheryl. She will always be S tier unless she gets some kind of crazy nerf. Next, we're going to talk about Pablo. Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at the worst support in this game, in my opinion. One of the worst supports, but we'll get to that. Now, Pablo does have the active camouflage, guys, which is really cool. He can move around the map. He's the one survivor that doesn't have to worry too much about where he goes or straying away from the team, because he simply can't be seen by the demon. Unless, of course, the demon's smart. You know, Pablo hops in a car, demon sees the car on the map. Different story, but I feel like Pablo doesn't offer as much to the team as the other supports, even with that camouflage. Yes, you might be able to map rush a little bit with him, but against a good demon, that's not really always going to matter. Now, he does have the amulet creation ability, but that really doesn't make a big difference. It has a super long cooldown. I guess if you have a few warriors on your team, it might. But I will say Pablo is fun to use, guys, but when it comes down to it, in the nitty-gritty, you're playing a good match against a good demon, I wouldn't choose Pablo. I would not choose Pablo. That's my personal opinion. So, we're going to go C tier. The first survivor on our C tier will be Pablo, guys. Next, we're going to move on to David. Old David Allen. Mia's brother, man. He's not scared anymore, guys. He's a good support. He's got his ability, the Beacon of Hope ability. Which, in my opinion, I underestimated that when he first came out, and I deeply apologize for that because it is an insanely a good ability, especially against them power-possessed units with the Puppeteer, bosses, for any demon, anything like that. If you throw that beacon down, you kind of kite the demon, coax him into that ability, you and your teammates are beating the shit out of that demon, he's going to depossess very, very quickly, which can be very good in certain situations, especially on objectives and the book. Not to mention, he can grant a 30, or should I say 20 now, it got nerfed, but a 20% damage defense, should I say, 20% more defense to him and other teammates whenever he drinks the Shemps, which can also be very effective. He has taken a couple nerfs recently, but he's still a very solid support in my opinion, and he's fun to play. So you kind of get the best of both worlds with him there. Now, see, in my opinion, Cheryl, she's not really fun to play, a whole lot of fun, but she's absolutely necessary. David's both fun, and he's a good support in the process. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put David in B tier as supports, as one of the better supports. If I'm not going to go Cheryl or support Ash, I'm definitely going to go David. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the big bad Blacksmith. One of my favorite characters that came to this game, guys. I've been anticipating him for a long time. I predicted him way before he even came out that he was going to be coming in. He did come in. He was a freaking beast, man. He had that warrior damage. He has since been nerfed a little bit in terms of damage output, but I'm going to go ahead and put Blacksmith also in C tier with Pablo. I do not think he is a good support by any means. In terms of healing his teammates, probably one of the worst in the game. His ability, his amulet ability, where it doesn't break, a 50% chance of not breaking, and it grants a, I believe, 10 to 13% damage increase for a duration of like 40-odd seconds. It can be pretty effective. However, what gets me with Blacksmith, guys, is his ability. I believe his ability is way too RNG for what it takes to be able to use the anvil. You know, you run around for most of the match. Sometimes you don't find any metal scrap. You finally get to 50, and you craft, a repeating crossbow that nobody on your team needs or wants. That's the big issue with Blacksmith. If they can fine-tune that to maybe craft a weapon that can be useful for one of the teammates every time he does, then he might be a little bit higher. But as of right now, we're going to go C tier with Blacksmith because I just don't see any reason to use him over any of the other supports. But with that said, guys, that was a little bit of a speed round, and it still took probably like 15 minutes to do that. But that is our Survivor tier list, ladies and gentlemen. I know a lot of folks are going to have objections to it, and that's okay. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, but that's where I'm at with it. Annie being the absolute best Survivor in this game. Pablo and Blacksmith probably being the worst. I've been asked previously to do this sort of tiers with, the S tier, A tier type thing. You see the survivors here, man. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. What changes would you make? Where would you kind of put the survivors on your tiers? Interested to hear that. But yeah, with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. My name's Sergeant Moose. If you did, please feel free to drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care, everyone.